killed this week in a mass shooting in Maine. A Texas Tribune reporter tells us about an all-night special session in the House this week. And early voting continues Monday with extended hours on Thursday and Friday.
A few areas around the crossroads got some heavy rain today. What will our rain chances be for the weekend? We'll talk about that. Plus the big cold front, all coming up in weather.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10.
This is breaking news from 25 News Now.
Breaking news tonight, authorities say a man suspected of fatally shooting 18 people and wounding 13 in Maine has been found dead. Robert Card, who is wanted in connection with the shootings, is believed to have died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 40-year-old Card had been sought since the Wednesday night shootings, and murder warrants were issued against him. One of the victims of the Lewiston, Maine shootings is identified by his wife as popular ASL interpreter Joshua Seal. Elizabeth Seal posted a moving tribute to her late husband on Facebook, saying in part, quote, "It is with heavy heart that I share with you all that Joshua Seal has passed away. No, he was murdered," unquote. She went on to say, quote, "He was the world's best father to our 4 pups," unquote. Joshua Seal was taking part in a cornhole tournament for deaf athletes when he was killed. Early voting in Victoria for the November 7th election continued Friday. The numbers from the Victoria County Election Administrator look like this. 288 people voted in person early Friday. 955 people have voted early in Victoria County so far. 6 mail-in votes were received Friday, a total of 335 mail-in votes so far. You can vote early in Victoria County all next week. The hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and extended hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday and Friday. You can vote at the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center, 2805 North Devero in Classroom A. In this Texas constitutional amendment election, Proposition 7 would authorize the creation of the Texas Energy Fund. It would be established in the Texas Constitution to fund the construction, maintenance, modernization, and operation of the electric generating facilities. Proposition 7 requires that the Public Utility Commission set aside money to eligible projects in each region with an electric power grid that are consistent with that region's load share. Election day is Tuesday, November 7th. Let's take a first look at your forecast. In for First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis, here is meteorologist Scott Pitney. Scott, what was the weather night for all the high school football fans tonight?
Well, it was pretty good. The rain finally let up, but we had some decent rainfall amounts. This is a picture sent in from a viewer. This is the Telfner Post Office, where around this particular area they had about 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. But between Telfner and Inez, they had radar estimated amounts of 4 to 5 inches. That was a small storm which prompted a flood advisory. Those rain chances going down to 20% for tomorrow and Sunday, but then Sunday we get the strong front, which makes for a chilly Halloween. We'll talk about it coming up in weather. Don, back to you.
Scott, thank you. Hallettsville police arrested 43-year-old Shane Scott Reyes of Hallettsville on the 100 block of South Promenade Street. Police found Reyes had outstanding warrants for his arrest out of Oklahoma City. Reyes was booked into the Lavaca County Jail, listed as a fugitive from justice. Texas Tribune Capitol reporter Renzo Downey says lawmakers began their special session Wednesday, a session that went on for 18 hours, starting at 4 in the morning, starting with trying to ban COVID-19 vaccine mandates for private businesses. Then they went on to their immigration agenda, and Downey says Democrats put up a strong fight. However, the House ended up passing those bills.
One of those bills that's banning stash houses, increased penalties for stash houses and smuggling. That bill is now at the governor's desk, and a couple other bills are now over to the Senate.
Legislators also discussed vouchers at length, but the Republican holdouts in the bill did not show any signs of budging. In regards to the president's recent reversal on supporting the construction of a border wall, Downey says many Texas lawmakers describing that as, quote, too little, too late, unquote. And here's your viewer poll today. Do you plan to dress your pet for Halloween? Yes or no? So far, 94% say No, we want to know, and you can also post your photo. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. We want to see those pet photos for Halloween. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. Israel steps up air and ground attacks in Gaza. Also ahead, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton goes to court again to keep the border barriers with Mexico in place.
Here's a look at what's coming up on Community Crossroads. We hear from Midcoast Family Services, Cheryl Johnson, the Victoria MPO, and we take in a performance by Verónica La Consentida.
Que pronto te olvidaste de aquellas promesas. Tus palabras solo fueron una decepción.
Israeli Army says its ground forces are expanding their activity in the Gaza Strip as it moves closer to a full-on ground invasion of that besieged territory. Internet and phone services collapsed Friday in Gaza under intensified Israeli bombardment, largely cutting off its 2.3 million people from the outside world and each other. Israel has amassed hundreds of thousands of troops along the Gaza border. Explosions from airstrikes, as you saw there, lit up the Gaza sky Friday night. A Travis County judge ordered the Texas Education Agency not to release its annual A through F school ratings. This comes after more than 100 school districts sued the TEA. KXAN reports the districts accused the TEA of not providing adequate notice under Texas law of changes to how the rating will be calculated. The school leader said the changes could lower scores for campuses even if performance improved. TEA officials said the agency will appeal this decision immediately. Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a motion for a temporary restraining order on an emergency basis after federal agents continued destroying Texas' barrier at the border with Mexico. Paxton is seeking an order that would keep federal agents from cutting, destroying, damaging, or otherwise interfering with Texas' razor wire fence. This is just days after Texas filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration for numerous documented incidents of barrier destruction. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, an Ohio youngster finds a way to dress for Halloween and honor his favorite sports team in the process.
Very warm and steamy conditions around the crossroads, but things are about to change. We'll talk about it coming up in your forecast. And welcome back. Feels like temperature right now 78, very warm and humid out there with a dew point of 75 degrees. Like I said, we have got changes coming. We do have a 20% chance of rain starting around 2 o'clock tomorrow and then tapering off to 10% by tomorrow evening. That's going to be pretty much the same story for Sunday. Here is Future Tracker. This is Sunday at 3 p.m. We start to see that front pushing its way through Texas. Notice the wintry mix behind the front indicating very cold air, which we've been talking about for a while now. But as the front goes through, this is Monday at 5 o'clock. We're going to see kind of an overriding effect. We have this low out here that's going to bring the circulation around, and it's not going to be a heavy type rain, but it's some rain mixed with drizzle with the clouds, but a very strong cold north wind. So it's going to be kind of a miserable day, to be honest, on Monday. But then when Halloween gets here, and I stopped this at 5 o'clock around trick-or-treating time, you see all the rain is pushed off into the Gulf. A few clouds maybe will linger around, but I think for the most part, the weather's going to be nice as far as rain free, but we are still going to continue to have that strong north wind. Temperatures will be in the 50s and stay in the 50s for highs. Monday and Tuesday start to warm up gradually toward the end of the week, but it is going to be cool on Halloween night, so dress those kids warm when you take them out for trick-or-treating. Then this is Thursday. We'll start to see that wind shift back from the east and things will start to warm up a little bit by the end of the week. Speaking of wind, that is the other story. This is Saturday afternoon, winds in the teens, same for Sunday, but notice here is the front coming down. This is Sunday at 3 o'clock, but then when it comes all the way through by Monday at 1, these are sustained winds in the low to mid 20s. You see all the gusts, a lot of gusts in the 30s along the coast, maybe even as high as 35 miles per hour. So a lot of wind behind that front. This is the real deal that we've been waiting for. Water temperature down in Port O'Connor, 80 degrees, high tide 9:42 p.m., low tide at 11:40. Those winds southeast 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, and the bay waters will be choppy. For Port Lavaca, your wake-up temperature 76. Isolated thunderstorms by noon, 84 degrees, 84 by 4, and then 78 for your sunset temperature in Port Lavaca. Further inland in Cuero, 74, 83 by noon, not much change by 4, 85, and 77 your sunset temperature in Cuero. And then as far as Victoria, pretty much the same, 74 for your wake up, winds will be light and then picking up toward the afternoon, 84 for noon and then 84 as well for 4, 77 by sunset under mostly clear skies for Victoria. So here it is in your 7-day, 20% chance of rain for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, high temperature 87, almost duplicate day on Sunday. We're going to bump those rain chances up mainly toward the latter part of Sunday as the front gets closer to us. Scattered showers, 30% for Sunday. Then that front comes through. Right now, we're thinking about midnight. You're going to probably hear it. Those winds are going to be very strong as it comes through. Could bring a line of showers and thunderstorms with it. Chance of rain, 40%. Scattered showers, high 55. Then for Halloween, still a 20% chance of mainly early showers, clearing up 56 for your high, and then those temperatures warming up by the end of the week with some sunshine. Of course, you can download the Crossroads app today, get the latest news, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Sign up for email alerts, and it is free. Don, back to you.
Scott, thank you and happy birthday. Hey, you're welcome. A 10-year-old from Central Ohio has gained a lot of popularity over the years for his creative Halloween costumes because they aren't just any costume, they're designed around his wheelchair. This year, Blake is a Zamboni for his hometown Columbus Blue Jackets hockey team. That's a National Hockey League team, by the way. This took about a month and a half to put together, and Blake says this is his favorite costume so far. He and his Zamboni will be a special guest of the Blue Jackets on Saturday night. That is awesome. Look at him go. All right, he is happy. He is ready for Halloween. That is great. I love that. That is awesome. That is great. I'm going to give a score, but it's not a high school football score, okay? This is game 1 of the World Series on our sister station, Fox 19. It is in the top of the 9th, and it's the Diamondbacks 5 and the Rangers 3. One last peek at the weather, sir, please.
Yes, we are going to get some cold air finally, but we've got a couple more days of humidity coming through. The front is coming through Monday night, and we're going to feel that wind. We're going to hear that wind, maybe even wake you up. It's going to be knocking on the door pretty hard. but we're going to have our temperatures drop down to the mid 50s, lows in the mid 40s, and then by the end of the week, it should be very nice.
Very good, Scott. Thank you. And thanks for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Stay tuned for Crossroads Football Live. The latest on the greatest Texas high school football is up next. You're going to hear about a score. An area team fell behind 6 minutes into the game, 12-0, scored 44 straight punts, won the game, clinched a playoff spot. Have a great weekend, Crossroads.